fight week! Are you excited? Jaron Boots Ennis back in the ring this weekend versus Lima. I guess we got boxing, right? Jaron Boots Ennis gonna make his 154-pound debut. Y'all already know if y'all been following the channel. I said that the 154-pound division is the deepest division in the sport of boxing. The most competitive division in the sport of boxing. Is like a landmine division. Everybody has shown their vulnerabilities. And look, I'm a fan of Jaron Boots Ennis. If y'all been following the channel 7 years ago, 6-7 years ago, I said that Jaron Boots Ennis is going to be the second coming of Roy Jones Jr. Probably over-exaggerated my prediction because he's 28 years old right now and we still in the phase of passing the eye test. Yeah, he won some titles, but he didn't win no titles in the welterweight division versus with Keith Thurman, Earl Spence, Bud Crawford. They didn't even fight a Sean Porter. Didn't fight a Danny Silva Garcia. They didn't even fight a Ugas. This fight and look, again, I think that at this point he's been overhyped, overcooked, over marinated already. I think that people just want to see him do something, get out of first and second base. You know what I'm saying? People want to see him do something special already. People want to see Jaron Boots Ennis match his expectation or at least exceed the expectations. And I think that people been frustrated with Jaron Boots Ennis as well because he had the opportunity to face Vergil Ortiz, and he avoided that fight when it was presented to him by Turkey Al Sheikh. He could have fought Teofimo Lopez, and that would have been an exciting fight, right? Two dynamic, athletic, explosive fighters, that showmanship, that shows off and willing to entertain. And he avoided that fight. He ducked that fight. Devin Haney said in the interview that he could have fought Jaron Boots Ennis, but Jaron Boots Ennis wanted it in the catch weight. I think it was an 152, so he didn't get a Devin Haney in his resume. Boots Ennis at this point need a name. He rematched Karen twice. That hopefully, I'm gonna say it again. I'm a supporter of Demetrius Andre, but I hope that Jaron Boots Ennis' career doesn't end up and doesn't go through the hiccups like a Demetrius Andre's career. And it seems like it's heading that way in terms of names and matchups, but he did have opportunities in which he could have put some good names, legacy fights on his resume. And I think this is the reason why this fight is not really being marketed. A lot of people ain't talking about this fight because I think at this point we all know what Jaron Boots Ennis could do and anticipating to do versus the Lima, and that is to play around with him, showboat, be entertaining. Probably that. Look, in the tradition of boxing, when a fighter moves up, of course you could. Fighter does take a test, a tune-up, or trying to fill out the division. But then there's great fighters that just like Terrence Bud Crawford, which he was calling out early on in his career, in which he just went to the 168-pound division and fought the best. Now if you want to, put yourself in that type of, or wear that type of shoe, or put yourself in that type of conversation, you gotta, move up and dare to be great as well at this point of your career. I'm not saying that nobody else have done it. Of course, Vergil Ortiz have tested the division at first. Teofimo Lopez, when he moved up to the 140-pound division after his defeat versus George Carambosa, he tested the 140-pound division. Even Canelo Alvarez tested the division when he went to the 168, but he went at full Kovalev in 175. I even think Bud Crawford tested the division versus Madrimov. But hopefully that this is just the one fight, and what it is. I hope that these fights, these tune-ups, and these type of fights, I think that they should. If it's gonna be so easy, and hopefully it is, you should get back in the ring in 2-3 months. I don't want to see him wait another 8 months, 6, 7, 8 months to get back in the ring after fighting a guy like this. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the problem when it comes to the sport of boxing. is the inactivity, is noticeable names, relevant names. Don't fight enough. There's no anticipation. There's no schedule. You know, because right now we're not looking. What is Jaron Boots Ennis going to be looking at next? You know, at least we got a great fight, Vergil Ortiz versus Lubin, and I think that we're going to gauge the performance of Boots, and then we're going to look on and engage the performance of Vergil Ortiz and Lubin. But there's going to be an interesting division, and it's too many good names for us to be having these Boots versus Lima fights. All right, I'm only going to accept it once, because he just moved up to the 154-pound division. But it's time for him to, you know what I'm saying, to really show how special he is, because I believe that Jaron Boots Ennis is a special fighter. But I don't want him to get accustomed to these type of fighters, you know. And then when you get a real one, you know, because you haven't faced you know, elite fighters and things of that nature, you don't show up. You know, and then then if you don't perform to that level, then you always gonna be labeled a hype job. Hopefully he's not. Hopefully he shows how special he is. Like, I know the type of fighter that I've said that in the past, that he will be a special fighter. You know. Let me know what y'all think, man. Subscribe to the channel. This is Punch Roll Boxing, aka Mr. Moonshine himself. I'm trying to be hype. But damn it, this fight doesn't hype me. But man, we got to take what we could get. You know, it's boxing. But you know, later on this month, we're gonna get a good fight. And in October 25th, in the same division where Keith and Thurman are gonna be facing Fundora. So the 154-pound division is gonna be lit. You know, it's been lit in my opinion, but now they got some noticeable names, relevant names that a lot of people know. I think it's gonna be a great division, a great year, 2026, and hopefully 2025 close out really good. Let me know what y'all think, man. Subscribe to the channel, smash the like button. Love you, God bless, and on to the next.